Really, the first thing they're supposed to do is do their health questionnaire. I've had no symptoms. I click no, confirm. Have I had close contact? I click no, confirm. International travel, no, confirm. Don't enter if you have a fever, submit. And then after you hit submit, you instantly get, for the day, your green check. Thank you for completing. You may enter TCO PC. So this is the first thing you have to do. So let's go in the trailer.
All right.
The players will come in, they'll check in here, they will get their form, and then they will walk into one of these 4 stations and get their sample taken.
You can test 4 at once.
4 at once, yep. We have 4 stations set up, but that's it. Each test takes literally, a couple minutes. I know that part of the protocol mandates that you have a separate entrance for Tier 1 and Tier 2. So everyone must come in and out of this door. So this is a sterile environment, if you would, for the tier groups. And then the next step is the temperature scan. You must have a face covering on. As a matter of fact, if you don't have a face covering on, when you go up to this scanner, it will tell you. It will not read you without a mask. It will just force everyone to get used to having a mask on when they enter the building. And you will get your tracer for the day, which will probably go on your wrist. Everyone gets one that's in Tier 1 or Tier 2 or Tier 3. They get one of these devices and you wear it the entire time you're in the building. Players will wear it on the practice field and then you turn it when you leave for the day. You turn it in and that is how instantly we can do contact tracing. It's kind of like the GPS trackers that the players have been wearing for years. We'll go in the locker room first. So we have the good fortune of being in one of the largest and most awesome facilities in the NFL.
Yeah.
Which gives us a big advantage when it comes to social distancing. And Peter, this is what it's gonna look like in the locker room. You have, every third locker to make sure that we have proper, at least 6-foot social distance with our players. We're gonna add some lockers on this wall over here, and then we're gonna add a row of lockers. This has been cleared out. All the couches have been removed really from the whole building because we don't want guys congregating. So lockers will go straight down this shot.
You're going to be able to do like every other locker,
Yeah,
right?
we have enough lockers to do that with 53-man roster, whatever it is, a 10-man or so practice squad, no problem. And then the showers, we'll take a shower head off of every other one, and that will help with our social distancing. Close the steam room and the sauna, because obviously they're confined spaces.
Pre-COVID, how many people would be using this weight room simultaneously?
Yeah, so if it was a day last year during training camp, and let's say our entire offense was lifting, you're looking at 40, 45 guys at once.
Yeah.
Potentially in here doing their lift, some guys out there pushing sleds, whatever they do. So we won't have that anymore. But what we can do is if it's 15 guys in here, we could have 15 guys on the field, we could have 15 guys in the stadium, and we could get our 45 guys at the same time. But we have to spread out and have to adapt. The other thing is that this weight room must be cleaned prior to anyone coming in here for the day. And then if you are using this machine, again, if Anthony Barr was using it, usually Kendricks would be right up next and he hopped right on and sweaty, those days are over. When Anthony's done, it gets wiped down, it's paused for a minute, and then the next player gets on. All the hallways that are narrow like this have been made one way. So this is the only way you can walk down this hallway. Every room has now had a sign like this that gives a max capacity for the room. So this room, for instance, it wouldn't be uncommon for 6 or 8 coaches to be in here doing whatever on that particular day.
Yeah.
Now it's just 3. And it's 3 because that's the only way to properly socially distant in the room. So this is the linebacker room, who used to have 16, 20 people in here, is now just 8. 7 chairs and 1 coach.
I just had no idea you would have spent so much time figuring that part of it out.
Training camp is where the issue is. Now we can't use this as a linebacker room anymore. We can use it if we have 7, or 6 or 7 linebackers, and then during the season, they can probably get back into their normal spaces.
All right, auditorium. So the X's on the chairs denote where our athletes will sit. If there is not an X on the chair, it's going to be an empty chair. This will be removed. There will be no seat here. So again, this one was a little more difficult.
So in other words, literally these chairs are going to be taken away?
The seat portion will be taken away, yes. Basically, we're able to use just a little over a quarter of this room, and that's it, to have proper social distancing. So this is a room where probably Coach Zimmer will have his full staff meetings. You cannot have a team meeting in here, of course, but full staff meetings. This is a room, for instance, where the O-line might meet or the D-line. Yeah. The total team defense can meet in here. In the back behind Rick up there's a row where the coaches can sit on stools. So you can probably get about 50 people in here. The food's a critical thing of what we do for these players.
Yeah.
The nutrition of these players is critical. So we really had to reorganize and give a lot of thought to the cafeteria. Staff members used to come up with their, whatever, take what they want, put on their plate. It was a buffet line, so that's over. These have been placed down. The chefs will be behind the line. You'll point, I'll like some of that. They will make a serving for you and hand it to you. We're having the same food. It just might look a little different when they get it.
Yeah.
Other important thing to note is we're going to have an app on our phones where you can order your lunch in the morning. The reason to do that is so that you can just walk up here. It's going to be ready for you. Say Kirk Cousins, he grabs it and he's out. He's in here for 15 seconds. This used to be a room where the whole team was up here eating.
Yeah.
I think we have about 40 seats in here now, instead of the 100 and some that we used to have. Again, everything that we're doing is about health and safety, and we don't want to get anyone sick in the building. So This area is no different, but it's critical to our players' success is what they do in this building, in this room.
Right.
You may say, what are these pipe and drapes right now? This is in preparation for our physical exams. So in the past, we would do physical exams across the street at Twin Cities Orthopedics.
Yeah.
This year, the recommendation is to not take players outside of your building because you can control your building. So we will do our physicals in here, and these are exam rooms we've created. This is our recovery room. Now this looks different than it looked 3 months ago. It was more crowded. We had more tables, more chairs. We've spaced everything out. The days of me walking up to you on the field and hitting you with the water's over. So every player will have their own water bottle now. And they're making rings like this with their name on it for us. For now, we just labeled it with ourselves, with their number and their name. A couple other things I want to show you. You've heard about the Oakley helmet?
Yeah.
So this is it. So you've seen helmets with a visor on.
Yeah.
That's how they look. This is the addition. So this is the new mouthpiece, mouth guard if you would, to help protect the players. So Rick just contaminated that spot, so if you'd get up for a minute.
Okay.
So do you think I got everything?
Probably, but you never know.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So now we have electrostatic sprayers. It works simply like this. It sprays. And the difference is that now, because of the electrostatic portion of the sprayer, these particles don't just go where I sprayed and wiped. These particles cover the entire table. They go underneath, they go in the cracks, etc. So much safer way to clean. We'll use these, we have several types of these. We'll use these in the weight room. We'll use these in the meal room, in the players' rooms. It will keep us safer. Other things that have been talked about are, what do you do in the whirlpool rooms? So we put the markings on the floor where the guys must stand at 6 feet all around. It's actually a little more than 6 feet all around to be properly social distanced. And same thing in our cold tub. So again, we're cutting down from 12 guys at once to 6. When we do get a sick player or a sick staff member, they are going to get a care package. And this is what is going to be in their care package to take home. So they're going to get face covering, a little more intense face covering, 3 different ones. This is just a rag to clean, a thermometer, some Kleenex, fingertip pulse oximeter, because we know COVID sometimes can affect our oxygen levels, so we want to track that, want them to be able to track that. Gloves, HibaCleanse, which is basically a cleaner, and then some sterile solution to clean. So they'll get this bag and they'll be able to monitor their temperature, their oxygen, they'll be able to protect themselves, clean their house or wherever they're living, and Also, there's going to be some education material in this bag. There's going to be a meal schedule, ability for us to deliver their meals to them if they're isolated, and all those types of things.
So in other words, if they test positive or if they're sick in any way, this is going to happen?
They're going to get that, yes.
Okay.
The one thing that's going to be unbelievably critical that we do as we re-enter and our players come back and our coaches and our staff is education, because we know that our building is going to be sterile. We're going to have tier system where there's going to be no intermixing. We're going to be safe in our building, but I'm going to go home at the end of the night and I'm going to see my children and my wife. Players are going to go maybe out to a restaurant or whatever is allowed in their state, and then bring that back into our building. And so we all have a responsibility. I have a responsibility, certainly as the ICO, Rick as the GM, Kirk Cousins as the quarterback, has a responsibility to do the right thing this season to protect each other. And I think that the only way we accomplish that is through education, and it's going to be critical that all clubs do that.